Hey guys, welcome to Y&R Daily Update YouTube channel. Today's topics: The Young and the Restless spoilers. Ugly Audra truth drops. Kyle proposes to Claire to make up for it. The Young and the Restless Y&R spoilers tease that Audra Charles Zulia Silver is hell-bent on breaking up Kyle Abbott, Michael Miller, and Claire Newman, Haley Aaron despite her losing attempts to seduce her ex. Get updates on the latest news about The Young and the Restless straight to your inbox. We use your personal data for interest-based advertising as outlined in our privacy notice. What is this? Audra is getting bolder. So, will this force Kyle to prove his love by proposing to Claire? Kyle has not told Claire the truth about what he and Audra got up to in Nice, and his guilty conscience could push him to make a mistake heal. Regret Claire going strong. Both Audra and Kyle have some dirt to spill, but are reluctant to start a nuclear war. Audra and Kyle kissed in her bed, and Claire has no idea that there was physical contact between them. How will Claire respond when she learns that Kyle was in a skimpy towel at the time? Kyle was triumphant when he called Audra's bluff on her seduction scheme with Victor, Eric Braden. But he did that after snuggling with lingerie-clad Audra longer than he needed to. Kyle needs to tell the whole truth. On the August 7th episode, Audra dropped more hints about their intimacy, and that got Claire's attention all over again. Something just doesn't add up. What is this? Audra admitted that she lied about him leaving his phone charger in her room, but cackled on about how Kyle wants her instead of Claire. Will Kyle be so scared that he asks Claire to marry him? He may think that such an action would prove to Claire that he only wants her, but his GF wasn't born yesterday. If Kyle pressures her for an engagement, it could backfire spectacularly. Claire and Audra tussle over Kyle. Claire is sus about what really happened in France, and Kyle leaping to lock in marriage might alarm her even more. What we can tell you is that Claire does indeed learn more about what went on while Kyle and Audra were away from GC. Will it be from Kyle, Audra, or someone else? With the truth being dribbled out like this, we predict that it will only be worse for Kyle when the beans are all spilled. Kyle is in the weeds. Do you think that he is desperate enough to put a ring on it to save his relationship? Be sure to catch up on everything happening with The Young and the Restless right now. The Young and the Restless fans are bracing for a bombshell week in Genoa City as an ugly truth about Audra Charles is about to explode, sending shockwaves through several relationships and pushing Kyle Abbott into making a move no one saw coming. For weeks, tension has been brewing between Audra, Kyle, and Claire as secrets, half-truths, and whispered alliances have been quietly building toward a tipping point. Now, that tipping point has arrived, and the fallout will be massive. According to insider spoilers, the truth about Audra's manipulation and hidden agenda will finally surface, and the ripple effect could permanently change the Abbott and Newman dynamics. The first domino falls when Claire, who has been struggling to find her footing in Genoa City after her past mistakes, overhears a suspicious conversation between Audra and a mysterious business contact. Claire initially hesitates to get involved, knowing her credibility is still fragile. But when she hears Audra bragging about using Kyle's trust for her own career advancement, she can't stay quiet. The confrontation is explosive. Kyle is blindsided when Claire presents evidence of Audra's deception, but Audra is not one to back down. She fires back with accusations of her own, claiming Claire has been manipulating Kyle for her own purposes. The confrontation quickly turns into a public spectacle, drawing in Summer, Jack, and Victor, all of whom have their own reasons for distrusting Audra. The tension is heightened when Jack demands answers, not just for Kyle's sake, but to protect the Abbott legacy. Jack has been wary of Audra's motives from the start, and the new revelations only confirm his worst suspicions. Meanwhile, Victor Newman sees an opportunity in the chaos and begins plotting how to use Audra's downfall to tighten his grip on Newman Enterprises, even if it means playing Kyle and Claire against each other. For Kyle, the truth cuts deep. He has been caught in a tug-of-war between loyalty, attraction, and ambition, and realizing he's been played by Audra leaves him furious and humiliated. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. Claire's role in exposing the truth catches him off guard, forcing him to reevaluate how he sees her. She stood up for him when she didn't have to, risking her own standing in Genoa City to protect him from further manipulation. In the emotional whirlwind that follows, Kyle starts to see Claire in a new light. While some may call it impulsive, sources reveal that Kyle will make a grand gesture that shocks everyone. He will propose to Claire. The proposal isn't just about romance, it's about Kyle trying to anchor himself after the betrayal and chaos. He wants to prove to himself and to Claire that he values loyalty and honesty above all else. And in his mind, taking this leap could be a way to make up for doubting her before. Claire, however, is left reeling. She has been working hard to rebuild her life, and while she has developed feelings for Kyle, she's not sure if his proposal is coming from a place of love or desperation. Her hesitation is clear, and it sets the stage for intense drama as family and friends weigh in on whether Kyle is making the right choice. Summer, who has her own complicated history with Kyle, is particularly vocal about her skepticism, warning Claire that rushing into marriage could end in disaster. Adding to the intrigue, Audra is far from defeated. Spoilers suggest she will regroup quickly, leveraging her knowledge of both Abbott and Newman's secrets to orchestrate a comeback. She may even find unexpected allies willing to help her strike back. And she's determined to prove that no one gets the last laugh on Audra Charles. The stakes in Genoa City have never been higher. With love, loyalty, and legacy all on the line, Kyle's proposal could either mark the start of a powerful new chapter or ignite a war that will tear families apart. As the truth about Audra's scheme spreads, alliances will shift, old wounds will reopen, and the fallout will reach far beyond Kyle, Claire, and Audra. Fans should prepare for a week of jaw-dropping revelations, emotional confrontations, and a proposal that could change the game forever in ways no one expects. The Young and the Restless is about to deliver one of its most explosive stretches of drama yet, and nothing in Genoa City will ever be the same again. In the days following the shocking reveal of Audra's schemes, Genoa City becomes a pressure cooker of tension, whispers, and strategic moves. Kyle's whirlwind proposal to Claire becomes the hottest topic in town, with everyone from the Abbotts to the Newmans speculating about his motives. Jack tries to remain neutral publicly, but privately he questions whether his son is making a rash decision in the heat of betrayal. Jack's instinct is to protect Kyle from more heartache. Yet, he also sees the sincerity in Kyle's eyes when he talks about Claire. For Claire, the weight of the proposal sits heavy on her heart. She confides in Victoria, her aunt, about the mixed emotions she's feeling. Victoria warns her that while Kyle may be genuine, trauma-induced decisions rarely lead to lasting happiness. Still, Victoria acknowledges that Claire has been trying to prove she can stand on her own 2 feet, and maybe accepting Kyle's proposal could help solidify her place in Genoa City if her feelings are real. Meanwhile, Summer watches from the sidelines, but can't keep her mouth shut for long. She corners Kyle at Crimson Lights and accuses him of using Claire to cover his emotional wounds. Kyle snaps back, reminding Summer that she once walked away from him, and Claire is the one who stood up for him when it mattered most. Their heated exchange leaves lingering tension, and Summer begins to wonder if she might have underestimated Claire. Audra, however, is far from licking her wounds quietly. She's furious at being exposed and vows to come back stronger. She starts reaching out to potential allies, including Nate Hastings, hinting that she has damaging information on both the Abbott and Newman families. Nate, wary of being dragged into another corporate war, initially resists, but Audra's persistence and the tantalizing hints about what she knows starts to sway him. At Newman Enterprises, Victor is quietly pulling strings behind the scenes. He sees an opportunity to use the chaos to his advantage, possibly pitting Audra against Kyle to weaken the Abbott's position. Nikki, on the other hand, urges him not to interfere in family matters that could further fracture relationships. Still, Victor's smirk suggests he's already several moves ahead. Back at the Abbott mansion, Kyle tries to convince Claire to give him an answer sooner rather than later. He admits he's afraid she'd drift away if too much time passes. And he doesn't want to lose the one person who's proven she's in his corner. Claire, torn between her heart and her instincts, tells him she needs to see how he handles the fallout with Audra before she can commit. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. This sets Kyle on a mission to not only shut down Audre's schemes once and for all, but also to prove to Claire and everyone else that he's not acting out of desperation. However, Audra has a trump card. Rumors swirl that she possesses a secret about Claire's past, one that could reignite doubts about whether Claire has truly changed. If she plays this card, Claire's reputation could be shattered and Kyle's proposal could turn into a public embarrassment. With stakes this high, every move matters, and the next chapter promises a volatile mix of romance, revenge, and ruthless power plays. Genoa City is on edge, and as Kyle fights to protect Claire, while Audra plots her return, fans are bracing for another round of explosive confrontations that could redefine who stands with whom, and who gets burned in the process. The Young and The Restless is setting the stage for another emotional firestorm in Genoa City as Kyle Abbott faces mounting pressure to tell the whole truth about secrets he's been keeping. While the drama surrounding Audrey Charles and Claire Grace continues to ripple through the Abbott and Newman families, new spoilers suggest that Kyle is holding back key details that could change the entire narrative and not in his favor. This isn't just about business rivalries or romantic entanglements. This is about trust, family loyalty, and the price of silence. For weeks, Kyle has been navigating a minefield of conflicting loyalties. On one hand, he's been trying to rebuild trust with his family after a series of questionable choices involving Audra. On the other, he's been growing closer to Claire, whose own past has made her a target for suspicion. Now whispers are spreading that Kyle knew more about Audrey UNC's schemes than he initially let on, and that his silence wasn't just about protecting himself. The turning point comes when Jack Abbott corners his son in the Jabot office. Jack, who has been suspicious of inconsistencies in Kyle's version of events, lays out what he's pieced together. He believes Kyle may have known Audra was using him for corporate leverage long before Claire exposed her, and that instead of speaking up, Kyle chose to play along to gain his own advantage. Jack's disappointment is palpable, and his voice carries the weight of a man who's been both a father and a mentor. Kyle initially denies withholding information, but his hesitation speaks volumes. The truth is complicated. While Kyle suspected Audra's motives, he was also aware of sensitive business intel that could have hurt Jabot if it leaked. He convinced himself that staying quiet was the smarter play, but now that silence is coming back to haunt him. Claire, who has been cautiously optimistic about her relationship with Kyle, is blindsided when she learns there may be more to the story than she was told. She confronts him privately, demanding honesty. Kyle struggles to explain that his intentions were to protect everyone involved, but Claire's trust has already taken a hit. She reminds him that trust is built on truth, not half-truths. Summer, ever watchful from the sidelines, seizes the opportunity to warn Claire that Kyle has a history of bending the truth when it suits him. Though her motives aren't entirely selfless, her words land heavily on Claire's heart. The pressure intensifies when Victor Newman gets wind of the situation. Victor, always ready to exploit a weakness, hints to Kyle that he knows about his role in keeping certain details under wraps. He offers a deal. Victor's silence in exchange for Kyle helping him maneuver corporate deals that would benefit Newman Enterprises. This puts Kyle in an impossible position. Confess and risk losing both Claire and his father's trust, or accept Victor's deal and sink deeper into manipulation. Jack, sensing the trap, warns Kyle that the longer he waits to tell the truth, the more explosive the eventual fallout will be. Billy Abbott adds his own voice, urging Kyle to come clean before someone else tells his story for him. The walls are closing in. Genoa City thrives on secrets, but it's also a town where secrets rarely stay buried for long. The question is no longer if the truth will come out, but when and whether Kyle will be the one to speak it. If he comes clean now, he may salvage his relationships and credibility. If he waits, the narrative could be shaped by those eager to see him fall. With Audra plotting her next move, Claire questioning her feelings, and Victor dangling a dangerous proposition, Kyle is standing on the edge of a decision that could define his future. The next steps he takes will either mark the start of redemption, or send him spiraling into a web of lies too tangled to escape. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. The clock is ticking, and in Genoa City, timing is everything. The Young and the Restless is about to deliver a fierce showdown as Claire Grace and Audrey Charles find themselves locked in an escalating battle over Kyle Abbott, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Genoa City has seen its fair share of love triangles, but this one is set to spiral into a war of words, power plays, and personal vendettas that will have ripple effects across both the Abbott and Newman families. For weeks, Kyle has been caught between the two women in ways he never anticipated. Audra, with her undeniable charm and cunning business mind, was once a trusted, confident, and romantic partner. Claire, still trying to rebuild her reputation after a troubled past, has emerged as a surprising ally to Kyle, especially after she exposed Audra's manipulative schemes. The spark between Kyle and Claire has been undeniable. But Audra isn't the type to walk away quietly from something or someone she believes should be hers. Trouble starts brewing when Kyle is spotted at society having a quiet dinner with Claire. Laughter and easy conversation flowing between them. Word of the cozy meeting quickly reaches Audra, who wastes no time confronting Claire in public. The atmosphere turns icy as Audra accuses Claire of inserting herself into Kyle's life out of opportunism. claiming Claire is using him as a stepping stone to regain social and corporate standing. Claire, who's been working hard to prove her worth beyond her last name and her past, doesn't back down. She fires back, reminding Audra that real relationships are built on trust and honesty. Two things Audra shattered when she manipulated Kyle. For her own gain, the verbal sparring match draws attention from nearby patrons, including Summer Newman, who watches with a mix of fascination and concern. Summer's feelings toward the situation are complicated. While she's not rooting for Audra, she's also not entirely convinced Claire is the right person for Kyle. Back at the Abbott mansion, Jack warns Kyle to keep his personal life out of the tabloids and office gossip. But Kyle, torn between the two women, admits to Billy that he still feels a pull toward Audra despite everything she's done. This confession hints that the battle for Kyle's heart might not be as one-sided as it appears. Audra, unwilling to lose ground, shifts her strategy from direct confrontation to calculated manipulation. She begins dropping hints to Victor Newman about Claire's past mistakes, subtly suggesting that Claire's involvement with Kyle could pose risks to the family's alliances. Victor, always looking for leverage, keeps the information in his back pocket, ready to use it if the opportunity arises. Meanwhile, Claire doubles down on her efforts to show Kyle she's trustworthy and genuinely cares for him. She joins forces with him on a small business project connected to Jack, impressing Jack with her professionalism and fresh ideas. This move not only strengthens her bond with Kyle, but also earns her attentive nod of approval from Jack, something Audra notices and resents deeply. The tension between Claire and Audra finally reaches a breaking point at a high-profile Genoa City charity gala. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. The two women end up in the same circle of conversation, with Kyle standing between them. What begins as polite small talk quickly devolves into sharp jabs and thinly veiled insults, each trying to prove they know Kyle better and can offer him more. Kyle, visibly uncomfortable, tries to defuse the situation, but both women are too invested in winning to back down. By the end of the night, the lines are drawn even deeper. Audra vows to make Claire regret ever crossing her, while Claire silently promises herself that she won't let Audra bully her out of something real with Kyle. The weeks ahead promise more than just romantic rivalry. They will be filled with corporate intrigue, family interference, and emotional turbulence as Kyle navigates the storm brewing between these two determined women. In Genoa City, love is never simple, and when pride, power, and passion collide, the fallout can be explosive. In the days following the tense charity gala confrontation, Genoa City is buzzing with whispers about the Claire-Audra-Kyle triangle, and the tension only deepens as each woman escalates her game. Kyle, who hoped the drama would cool down quickly, realizes he's now at the center of a battle where neither side is willing to surrender. While Claire focuses on proving her worth through action, Audra launches a subtler, but no less dangerous offensive, one built on sowing doubt, pulling strings, and twisting narratives to her advantage. Claire's next move is to keep the focus on positivity and progress. She doubles down on her collaboration with Kyle at Jabba, suggesting innovative marketing ideas that catch Jack Abbott's attention. Jack praises her insight during a board meeting, noting that her input could help Jabbo regain an edge in a competitive market. The recognition boosts Claire's confidence and also subtly positions her as someone valuable not just to Kyle personally, but to the Abbott legacy itself. Audra, however, is far from impressed. She takes the praise as a personal insult and begins quietly working behind the scenes to discredit Claire's ideas. She whispers to Nate Hastings that Claire's proposals are recycled concepts from another company, suggesting Claire is plagiarizing to make herself look competent. Nate, not eager to be caught in the crossfire, but curious about the claim, files the information away for potential leverage. Meanwhile, Summer Newman's role in the brewing storm grows more complicated. She initially told herself she was staying out of Kyle's love life, but seeing Claire and Kyle growing closer stirs emotions she thought she'd buried. Summer starts spending more time around Kyle under the guise of co-parenting with Harrison, subtly reminding him of their shared history. Claire notices the shift and begins to wonder if she's fighting two opponents instead of one. The stakes rise further when Victor Newman decides to test both women. He arranges for Claire and Audra to be invited to a high-level business meeting involving Newman Enterprises and a potential collaboration with Jabba. Victor's goal is to see which woman handles pressure better and which one might make a stronger ally, or at the very least, which one is more easily manipulated. The meeting becomes a silent showdown. Claire stays composed, presenting well-researched insights that impress. The room. Audra counters with bold, aggressive proposals aimed at positioning herself as a visionary. Though some attendees privately note her approach borders on reckless. Victor, of course, enjoys the show, recognizing that no matter who wins, he gains valuable insight into their tactics. Outside the boardroom, the emotional battle intensifies. Audra intercepts Kyle after the meeting, telling him she still cares about him and that Claire's ambitions are clouding her feelings. She warns him not to make the same mistake twice by trusting someone too quickly. Kyle, caught off guard by the vulnerability in her voice, admits he still thinks about their past, though he insists he's focused on moving forward. Claire, overhearing part of the conversation, feels the sting of doubt for the first time. That doubt is exactly what Audra wanted, and it works. That night, Kyle is more distant during dinner with Claire, distracted and uncertain. Claire calls him out on it, and when he hesitates to explain, she realizes the fight for his heart won't be won through quiet patience alone. She resolves to confront Audra hidden, knowing the video transcript centers on a dramatic plot unfolding in the soap opera, The Young and the Restless. Focusing on a complex love triangle involving Kyle Abbott, Claire Newman, and Audra Charles. Audra is depicted as a manipulative figure intent on breaking up Kyle and Claire by leveraging seduction, deceit, and corporate scheming. Despite Audra's efforts, Claire remains a strong contender for Kyle's affections, leading to escalating tensions and explosive confrontations among the trio and their families. Kyle, caught between loyalty, ambition, and love, struggles with guilt over his past actions with Audra, which remain partly hidden from Claire. His guilt and the pressure of the unraveling secrets lead him to impulsively propose to Claire. In an attempt to prove his loyalty and secure their relationship, however, Claire is uncertain about the sincerity of Kyle's proposal, suspecting it may be driven by desperation rather than genuine love. The drama intensifies as Audra's manipulations are exposed publicly, leading to a fierce fallout involving key family members like Jack Abbott and Victor Newman. Jack warns Kyle against secrecy, while Victor seeks to exploit the chaos to strengthen his own corporate power. Claire and Adra's rivalry escalates from verbal battles to strategic power plays, impacting business and personal relationships alike. Amidst the turmoil, Claire strives to prove her worth both personally and professionally, gaining recognition within the Abbott family business, Jabbo. Meanwhile, Audra plots a comeback, enlisting allies and threatening to reveal damaging secrets about Claire's past. Summer Newman, a secondary figure with her own history with Kyle, watches the situation unfold with skepticism and occasionally stirs the pot. Further, the narrative sets the stage for a high-stakes showdown filled with romance, betrayal, and corporate intrigue, promising to reshape the dynamics within Genoa City and redefine relationships among the Abbott and Newman families. The upcoming episodes will reveal whether Kyle's proposal will cement a new beginning or trigger further chaos. Highlights: Audra Charles is manipulating Kyle and Claire's relationship through seduction and deceit. Kyle's impulsive proposal to Claire is driven by guilt and a desire to prove loyalty, but Claire doubts his motives. Claire exposes Adra's manipulation, sparking a public confrontation involving major family figures. Corporate intrigue intensifies as Victor Newman exploits family drama to gain control over Newman Enterprises. Claire gains approval from Jack Abbott through her professional contributions to Jabba, strengthening her position. Audra plans a comeback by leveraging secrets about Claire's past and recruiting new allies. Summer Newman remains a wild card, complicating the love triangle with her own agenda and history with Kyle. Key insights: complex love triangle dynamics. The triangle between Kyle, Claire, and Audra is a classic soap opera setup enriched with layers of personal and corporate betrayal. Audra's role as the antagonist who uses both emotional manipulation and strategic scheming adds depth to the conflict, highlighting how romantic and business interests often intertwine in the series. This complexity keeps the audience invested, as loyalties are tested and characters reveal hidden motives. Kyle's proposal as a crisis reaction. Kyle's decision to propose to Claire is not a straightforward romantic gesture, but a reaction to his internal turmoil and external pressures. His guilt over past indiscretions with Audra and the fear of losing Claire push him toward a rash decision. This insight reflects real psychological responses to betrayal and uncertainty, making the storyline resonate emotionally while setting up potential future conflict due to Claire's skepticism. Public exposure of Adra's schemes. The Fallout from Claire exposing Idra's manipulation marks a turning point in the narrative. The involvement of family elders, like Jack Abbott, and business magnates, like Victor Newman, shows how personal betrayals can ripple into larger familial and corporate arenas. This emphasizes the theme that in Genoa City, private conflicts rarely remain private and often have broader implications. Victor Newman's opportunistic machinations. Victor's role as a power broker exploiting the chaos amplifies the stakes beyond the personal realm. His willingness to pit Audra against Kyle and to leverage secrets for corporate advantage illustrates the cutthroat nature of business in the show. It also positions Victor as a key figure whose actions will influence the outcome of the love triangle and the corporate battles. Claire's professional growth and validation. Claire's efforts to establish herself professionally within Jabao and win Jack Abbott's approval highlight her character development beyond the romantic subplot. This dual focus on personal and career success adds richness to her character and provides a counterbalance to Audra's manipulative tactics. It also signals that the romantic rivalry is intertwined with corporate power dynamics. Audra's resilience and strategic comeback. Audra's refusal to be sidelined after being exposed, and her plans to leverage secrets about Claire, demonstrate the enduring nature of her threat. This insight underscores a recurring soap opera theme. The villain never truly disappears but evolves, raising the stakes for all involved. Her ability to recruit allies suggests future alliances and betrayals will add layers to the ongoing drama. Summer Newman as a complicating factor. Summer's involvement introduces additional complexity, as her history with Kyle and her skepticism toward Claire create tension and uncertainty. Her vocal skepticism and attempts to reinsert herself into Kyle's life illustrate how past relationships and unresolved emotions continue to influence current dynamics, making the triangle more unpredictable and fraught. This synopsis and analysis provide a comprehensive understanding of the unfolding drama in The Young and the Restless, spotlighting character motivations, relationship dynamics, and the interplay between personal and corporate intrigues that drive the story forward.